And not only I've done 6 or 7 books now, but we also have clients who have been published by Big House Publishing. We've had one client, she has 47 books published all through a big name publisher. We've also had some that have done a little hybrid where it's kind of self-published through a publisher, but you're doing all the marketing. So we've kind of had experience on all sides. So I have a good perspective of, what people need to do. And yeah, it's interesting because writing a book, I always say, don't write a book to make money because you're not going to get rich writing a book.
Mm.
It's unless you're a celebrity and can get a big book deal. It's hard to make a lot of money on books. So we always estimate with our clients, you're probably going to make about $1 a book selling it. Now that, no matter what the price point is, because if you're selling them on Amazon takes 55% or whatever it is from there. And then you have all the costs involved in producing your book and marketing your book. So you're probably going to net about $1 a book. And and then if you go with a big name publisher, they typically are paying you about $1 a book. So it's just interesting that you don't write a book to make millions unless you're a celebrity author. Those days are kind of, it's hard to get on with a publisher. And we have one client that is actively working with an agent. And I'll tell you, it all starts a year before you publish your book. I tell people, don't wait until you publish your book to start marketing your book. A year before you get your book going, you want to start building an audience. And it's that whole thing that people always talk about, crowdfunding a book. You need a crowd before there's going to be funding. So even in the book world, you've got to build your crowd before they're going to fund your book, buy it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I mean, you've been doing marketing forever, and you always want to be marketing ahead of time and take people
Yes.
on the journey with you of writing your book. So even when you're writing, sharing those things on social media of, I'm sitting down to write this morning and I'm feeling stuck, or wow, I was super inspired at this, cabin that I'm staying in, sharing pictures of you writing. It starts building that anticipation
Yeah.
before you ever get that book out. And so, that there's so much to do before you even think about writing. But to decide what your goal is your goal to get this book picked up by a big house publisher for a specific reason? Because nowadays it's less desirable to go that route because they
Mm.
own rights to your book that you may not want them to own. And some people now choose self-publishing so they can maintain the rights to then create courses with that or go into other countries with that. But if you sell the rights through a publisher, you really need a good book attorney to help you get through all of that, because you could be signing away the rights to a book, which might be okay with you if your goal is just to get credibility with a big publishing house and have your name on a book, but you don't necessarily own the rights to it. So
Got it. Interesting.
there's a lot to consider. But publishing a book, it's, again, if you can get them to pay you a giant royalty up front, and then there's your money, and you don't care what they do with the rights. But if you're going to write a book we have a client right now that her book could be a wonderful movie, a screenplay, all kinds of things. We're like, you've got to think through this and work with an attorney, because if you publish it through a big house publisher, they will own the rights to that movie, screen, everything, unless you really do a good job of maintaining rights.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
I know.
just so
It's a lot.
valuable.
It's a
It's
lot.
also very daunting. It's also
It,
very daunting.
it is. And that's why most people today go, I want a book so that it's kind of my calling card. I'm an expert in this area, and I've written books on this topic. It's a body of knowledge that I want to share and get out to the world. So I'm going to self-publish it, and then I'm going to make money selling my books. So if you're a speaker, for example, every time you speak somewhere, people will want to buy your books. So if you're speaking and you're at conferences, you're able to sell your books and you're able to make money off of your books, and it helps augment your speaking. And so, again, because you own the rights and you self-publish it, you can sell it for, let's say you're selling your book for $18.95, and it costs you $4 to make that book. So you're making money every time you sell your books, and you can sell them on your website. If you sell them on Amazon, they're going to take 50% of that book price off the top, 55%. So you have to factor that into whether you want to sell them on Amazon or not. It's great for distribution. It's great because they can get you into barnesandnoble.com. If you go through Amazon's book publishing, they do print on demand, so you don't have to print a bunch of books. They will, when they get orders, they will get those orders out there, and they will make sure that it's on barnesandnoble.com and in local bookstores that have the distribution through Amazon, which is just an interesting partnership they have. But there's, it's just understanding what is your goal for having a book.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure most people actually have a lot of the questions centered around the process of writing the book, the catalyst moment, that journey, the documentation, the actual writing, the pivoting, the research. I have a lot of questions on that, but I want to put that on hold for just 1 second. And very selfishly, the reason why I want to do that is because my book which is called Click Record, is actually ready to go. And when I say ready to go, I put it in air quotes, because what is truly ready? But it's done. And, I'm going to start promoting this, and I'm going to get this out there. So I'm kind of reaching out to my friends, experts really, that have gone through this process. So here I have a book, and I'm probably going to go the self-publishing route. I'd like to retain the rights, at least for the company, for Dubb, and I'd also like to have it as an asset that we can give to new subscribers and to offer it for free. Maybe we sell it, maybe don't. I'm kind of leaning towards more making it free, but I think that the challenge of that is that I don't know if you get the reviews. On Amazon, can you give away a book for free and then still get reviews? So these are some questions that I have. But really, I guess my questions are...
Make it for 99 cents. Make it for 99 cents or $1.99. Or, there's a lot of people that say, we're going to send you a hard copy book for the price of, we're going to cover shipping. They do things like that nowadays just to get that book widely distributed. So there's lots of ways you could do that. And it makes a great lead magnet if you have it in a PDF form, an ebook format. You can give it away for 99 cents. And
that's a cool idea.
And then yes, you can definitely get reviews. And we always recommend we send galley copies to people ahead of time. Get in places like Goodreads, where book clubs are looking for books to review, and they read your books and then they review your books. And so Goodreads is a good place to get early reviews. And then we always tell people, send them to friends and customers, and say, I'd love you to do, I'd love you to read this book, and I'd love you to give me an honest review on Amazon. They can write a review on Amazon, even though they didn't buy the book there. But the book has to be out on Amazon first.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So here's a couple of questions. So number one, you mentioned ebook. So that's the first one that I have. So we're big into ebooks. Now, if we start to put a PDF file out there in the world, but then it's also for sale, do we run the risk of having some doc out there that can get shared? Should we not be thinking about that? Is that kind of really small-minded? What's your take on that?
Well, it's interesting because with one of our clients, that she went with a big house publishing, but then what we did was we took her first chapter of the book, put that on, and actually it wasn't her first chapter. I think it was chapter 3, because we wanted to be strategic. That chapter 1 was a lot of intro stuff, kind of like when you go on Amazon and you read the first few pages. It may not give you really what the book is about. So we found a meaty chapter that was really, people would go, wow, I want more of this. And we made that a PDF and made that a lead magnet. And then at the back of the lead magnet, we said, we want to bring you, hand deliver a hard copy. And most of our clientele is in Chicago and kind of that Tri-City area. So she did a thing where we, at the back of chapter 3, we did on a lead magnet cover that said, we want to hand deliver you a copy for you. All you have to do is give us your email address, and fill out this form, and it was giving their physical address.
With Dubb, you can easily send your business videos from Gmail, LinkedIn, CRMs, and so many more places, but you don't have to take my word for it.
Absolutely perfect.
Screen records, landing pages that can really help businesses to grow.